Hey everyone, welcome back to Brownlow Books. This week, literally yesterday, I read The Crying Rocks by Janet Taylor Lisle. So, it was written in 2003, first of all. I'm going to get that out there because it'll come into play later. It is classified as a teen book. I don't think I've ever come across a teen book before. I mean, I read middle grade stuff, which is what I thought this was, and then I can read young adult stuff. I never really thought about there being a middle to that, but our protagonist in this is like 13, so I guess that makes sense of like the teen. You're not quite the middle grade, but you're not quite ready for the young adult stuff. It's kind of what I got from that, I think. I didn't look it up, but like that just makes sense to me. So, yes, The Crying Rocks. We center on Joelle, who is a 13-year-old adopted girl. She lives in Rhode Island. No one near her looks like her. She's never seen anyone that looks like her. She doesn't know where she came from. She has like all these stories from her adopted mother, who she calls her aunt, and you know, oh, you came from Chicago, oh, you were found on the street, oh, you know, like, I think this is what happened to you kind of thing. So, I guess this is kind of a spoiler. Am I gonna say it? I'm gonna say it. It's kind of obvious that it's gonna lead up to her being Native American. Where she's from was the ancestral lands of the Narragansett tribe in Rhode Island. And so she finds a mural in the town library, and the people in it look like her. So that's that. She has a little friend, Carlos, who helps her do some research on this tribe, and they learn all kind of stuff, and they go hiking out in the woods to like their ancestral locations of whatever. And yeah, so like in that aspect, it's like a cute little friendship, finding who you are kind of book. On a bigger scale, I have some issues with it. So first of them being, when I was reading it, first or second chapter, when we're across Carlos, he describes himself as 1/16 Sioux. And I am like, that is such a fucking white person thing to say. Like, the stories I fucking hear, particularly out of America, but it's becoming increasingly common in Canada, is like, oh yeah, I'm like 1/16 Cree, and my great-great-great-grandmother was a Cree princess. You know, all that garbage bullshit that white people say so they don't sound racist, but it just makes them sound more racist. That shit. So, when I came across that, I immediately stopped reading and actually slammed the book closed, because I was like, that's some white people nonsense. And it is some white people nonsense. Beautiful cover, by the way. But yeah, Lisle is white. I found this on a list of Indigenous stories, and I thought, cool, I have it available to me from book outlet that I love, and beautiful cover drew me in. So I was like, yeah, I'll give this a shot. It's gonna be middle grade, it's gonna be nice, easy read. It's good. That's kind of where I'm starting this thing I'm doing, right? So, yeah. It was in an Indigenous section without an Indigenous author. And I always kind of hate that. I feel like there are some stories that should not be told by white people. But this one kind of straddles a line. Because for most of the book, obviously, Joelle doesn't know that she's Indigenous. She doesn't know that she's from the Narragansett tribe. So it kind of like toes a line, and there was a few times where I was like, the way you're saying this seems kind of racist, because you're just the way you're describing, you know, this or that or the other thing, or the way you've said this particular line about native tribes is a little problematic. So that's why I told you it's written in 2003. because I feel like no one kind of cared about that back then. Like, obviously it says here she's a Newbery Award winner and Scott Odell Award winner. So, like, it's not for this book. It's just the author in general. But, like, I feel like this is a story that maybe should have been told by an Indigenous author. So that kind of didn't sit right with me. Like, everything worked out in the end, of course, you know, it's a teen book, but, like, it just kind of hit a little bit of a sore spot for me. Not to mention the fact that Joelle's kind of a bitch. Like, you're 13-year-old and you're this fucking bitchy already? Good fucking luck to you. But yeah, so, like, she finds out where she comes from, she finds out what she is, she finds out a whole bunch of things that I won't say because they're kind of spoilers. Beyond the finding out she's Indigenous part. But yeah, it's just, something about it didn't sit right with me. The writing I felt was very middle grade despite it being described as teen. Like I said, our protagonist is 13. So it kind of just like never drew me in, never made me care about anyone in the book. It's just, like I said, I mean, beautiful fucking cover. It's the best part of it. Yeah, it just, it didn't quite touch the point I wanted it to. It didn't quite hit the way I feel like it could have been. I feel like it could have been a great book. I feel like it just didn't quite get there. So, this has 198 ratings on Goodreads with an average of 3.22. So, I'm obviously not the only one who feels this way. I didn't read any reviews on it that were on Goodreads to see if other people have these same issues with it that I did, but I'm gonna end up giving it a 3-star. It just, there's no connection to it. There's, like, to either Carlos or Joelle. Like, her parents, his parents, the other kids at school, like, just, it was just sort of there. And you're like, it's fine. So yeah, I'm giving it 3 stars. If I rated things separately, this cover would probably have 5 stars. Like, fuck, it's beautiful, right? But yeah, that's where I am. That's it. 3 stars. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.